Hi everyone. Got a bit of free time in the day between H1 closes. So what I wanted to do in this video is just kind of go back to sort of year zero and explain how we came to this system. And I think for some people it'll help them understand a little bit more about the sort of why of what we're doing with this system. Okay, because we all want to know why something works. Okay, so right, um, originally this is how I started out trading. Okay, so firstly, the thing to notice is that price um, goes from high to low to high to low. Okay, and no matter what price is doing, 9 times out of 10, if we look here, when it's closed, it will retrace to the high of the day before going down to make the low of the day, and then it retrace up to the high before going down to the low, and then price will turn around and retrace and high, retrace to low, back up to the high, turn around, retrace to the high, to the low. Okay, so price is doing this on all time frames. So what we started doing was we'd look, this is a weekly chart here. So we'd look at the weekly chart and say, okay, price is moving up. So next week, price is going to retrace to a low, and then it's going to go up and make a high. So what we'd do is we'd mark the previous highs and lows as support and resistance. Okay, so I put one on that high there, and then the next highs up were here, and here's some more lows here. Okay, so we'd kind of mark the support and resistance out on the weekly time frame, and then we'd go to the daily, and on the daily it's doing the same as well. Okay, so then we'd mark our highs and lows on the daily, looking for our retrace points. Okay, like so, and then we'd go down to the H1 time frame, and then we'd start trading, and we'd look for price to turn around on these highs and lows, and then when price turned around, we'd look for the retrace point on the H1, and we'd look to go short there, and so on and so forth. Okay, and essentially this is what we're doing here. We're trading from high to low. But the problem was with this system is by the time you come to trade, you've already made about 20 or 30 decisions, 20 or 30 judgment points, and then if the trade loses, then you have you've got too much data in your brain. Basically, it's like, okay, well, this system, when we mark it out in back testing, then it's fine. It works really well. Okay, it makes profit. It's a really good, accurate way of trading. But then when people come to trade it live, why are they having so much difficulty with it? And the reason is because there's so much data there for them to then reconsider, did I mark my lines right? If I'd have put my line here, then would it have been better? There's just basically too many decisions. It's too complex, basically, is what I'm saying. So I started to look at ways of how can you simplify this. Okay, and if if the key logic of the price goes up and down all the time on all the time frames, then why don't we just, when price closes up, why don't we just go long when it closes up and go short when it closes down, and just flow with the breakouts of price. Price is going up, so we'll take a breakout long. Here we'll take a breakout short. Okay, if we did this, would it have a positive expectancy? Okay, because this is really simple. And the answer is yes. if you do this, you'll have a positive expectancy. So this is what I called flow trading, okay, and I spent a lot of time playing with variations of this to see, again, to see what it feels like when trading live, okay. And again, it was a good system. It made profit, but there were a few problems, and the problems were that when price goes flat, you have to endure this short here, which would have stopped out. Okay, this long one, but very often in here you'd take a run of 3 or 4 losses, and then when it came to the part where there was the high volume in the market, you'd second guess your decision because you're already carrying these losses. So you'd make human error mistakes here when the market is most likely to give you profit. So I looked at it a bit more and said, well, how can we cut out these low volume parts of the market and simplify it even more? So that's why we added this Asian session thing here. And then obviously I noticed that currencies that are based in this time zone, the high and the low quite often happens in this zone. Okay, so that's why we simplified it even more to just the pound, dollar, and the euro dollar, because obviously when we're trading in those time zones, we're most likely to get the high volume, and that is true. The high and the low of the day is nearly always made in those sessions. So, really, all we're doing here is we're going with the flow of the price, okay? Selling when it closes down, buying when it closes up, but we're just picking an area of low volume that we're just going to rest and take a break from the charts. Okay, so when we start the day, this waiting for the high low, okay, is a rule that we've implemented again, because it just makes it less complex and easier for you to maintain the system consistently. Okay, it's mentally less demanding. Okay, but this morning we had this scenario on EU where it had made the low in the middle of the Asian session, and then I think it was Martin, I'm not sure, took a long something like this, okay, because it is coming from the low of the day. Price has closed up and broken out long. Now, some people would wait for it to make a high here and then give a failure trade to long. But the point I want to make is that trading from the high and the low of the day just means that you're most likely going to be at the daily support and resistance. And if you enter here, then really you kind of want to put your stop under the low of the day. Okay? But that is not to say that you can't just get up in the morning and just start flowing with price in the high volume part of the day. Okay? It's still going to have a positive expectancy. Okay, there is no real, if we look at the previous day here, you can see this was the low of the day. When you started trading, well, we're not really at the low of the day, but if you'd have just started trading with the flow of price, then you would have had a win up to here and then a short from here. Okay, and then you could have taken this reverse trade here, which has continued on to win today, covering this loss and giving you some profit. Okay, so just, the point I really want to make is that, we're trading the logical movement of price here, and we are trading support and resistance, but we're just not making any pre-decisions about that. We're letting price decide. We're letting the big guys decide where the support and resistance is, and we're just fishing for those levels by taking trades. And if those levels start to fail, then we take the reverse trade and we trade it down to the next one. But we're just reducing that decision-making process to an absolute minimum. We're making the strategy as simple as it's possible to make. I don't think it's possible to make less decisions and have a positive expectancy. Maybe someone disagree with that, but that's my view. So when it comes to the start of the day, don't get sort of bogged down in too much in the details of it with regards to your profit. It's about having a structure. It's about getting up each morning and repeating and being able to do that without questioning your decisions. Okay. So yeah, that's it really. I just want to say, really what we're doing is we're just flowing with price, and there's nothing particularly clever about the high and the low of the day, or particularly giving you an edge, but it's just structurally it's an easy way to trade. So I'll do a recap of today's trades tonight, and I just wanted to sort of do this here to make sure that everyone kind of gets what we're doing and the sort of origins of what we're doing. So any comments, leave them below. One other point as well, a few people have contacted me about the forum, and I think that some people have an impression that it's only going to be me posting that. If you want to start a thread about anything, about stop losses, about about trade management, about different pairs, then it's an open forum for you to do that, and hopefully get some feedback from the other members. So please, if you want to start a thread, go ahead. I mean, I've started some sticky threads there that about the core of the strategy, and but by all means, if you want to start a thread about the daily time frame, or about trading from the States or Australia, and different sleep sessions and how you can trade that, by all means, start those threads. So thanks for listening. I'll do another video this evening.